Oh my goodness. Is it working? How do I do this? Didn't I do that? Oops. Oh, wow. There we go. I don't know why that took so long to get to work. Probably because I've never even live streamed my whole life. But, welcome everybody that is here. I felt like live streaming because I honestly didn't want to edit a whole video today. So, if you're here, welcome, welcome, welcome. I think that everything is going to work so far. Make sure we're good in the chat. By the way, links in the description for you guys that do want to join the chat inside of the Discord server, which I haven't live streamed in months, so live stream. Cool. I guess I don't need that. I've been sitting here for like 4 minutes trying to figure out if the stream was even live or not. And it's been live the entire time. But it wouldn't say that it was actually live. So let's go through here. Remember, join the chat if you guys want to in there. I'm probably going to end up checking the chat more on Discord than I am here. But let's just go straight into some stuff. And talk about what we're seeing here. Well, hold on, I gotta log in. I don't know which account this is. Okay. All right. So let's discuss. Let's discuss some charts here. What do you guys drop some mentions inside of the chat? If you guys have anything that you guys want covered, feel free to drop them. I have a 60-second message block, so if you guys try and spam, it's not going to work. So make sure you speak wisely because it's going to be blocking you for a minute. But if you guys have anything that you guys want covered on today's video, talking about Bitcoin, talking about literally anything for the most part, we're going to be able to cover it all throughout here. So drop it in the chat right now. I'll go through. I'll pick out what the best things are to talk about. But I mean, overall, guys, not a whole lot to talk about as far as just the basic price action with Bitcoin. Let me change up the settings here because they bother me. Let's do white. Let's do white. Okay. One more thing. Remove that. Okay. So let's talk here pretty much what we're seeing inside of Bitcoin. So obviously we've had a little bit of sell-off, had a fake out, but I don't think that any of this really matters. Short time frame is completely obsolete. You guys already know. I really don't care about what happens on the shorter time frame. When we zoom out, go to a weekly time frame, it's very obvious for me to tell we've broken out of the all-time high. And whether you come down here and look at this range specifically, this was the all-time high. This was kind of our resistance before we made that short-term correction. This is us just consolidating above it. So obviously this is going to break out. I mean, there's nothing to be fearful of. Even if we get another red candle in here and we retest this again before going up, none of it changes anything. Regardless, this thing is going into new all-time highs. So I don't understand why there's been so much fear inside the market over the last little while. Anytime Bitcoin pulls back, people freak out, and it doesn't make a whole lot of sense because we're literally breaking out of all-time highs. And so shorter time frames, I could really care less. None of that matters very much. And so you guys already know I'm holding until the end of the year, which is ultimately going to be taking us $250,000 per Bitcoin by the end of this year. Do you guys think that this is possible? Do you think Bitcoin is going to go to $250,000 by the end of 2022? Right there. Do you guys think that? I don't think most of you guys do. I really don't at this point. I don't think most of you guys actually think that it's going to end up going that high. If BTC goes to 250K, won't alts get super wrecked? I mean, in the short term, most likely. That's generally the way it works anyways. I mean, if you look at... Where am I at here? If you look at pretty much any rally that we've had inside of Bitcoin, what'll end up taking place, like if we go back to here. So it was right here, this little resistance and this little tiny pullback that we saw right there before we went into price discovery. It was this pullback that altcoins got completely demolished. In fact, altcoins were actually doing really well throughout this period of time. And it was specifically from here to here that we had that massive alt season inside of 2020, summer 2020, when DeFi went crazy. DeFi went crazy during this period of time here. And then what we saw shortly after was Bitcoin make a massive, massive move into price discovery. It went from like 10K all the way up to 65K. And it was really, you know, some altcoins did take off in that period of time. We did see some outperformances on this way up. But for a big majority of them, most of them got destroyed during this correction. And a lot of them didn't do a whole lot this entire run up until closer towards the very end. Once we had this move here and we went up for our final move inside of that rally, that was where we started to see a lot of altcoins perform well. And so when it comes to where we're at today, you know, we're in a similar situation. We just went through a massive correction. A lot of altcoins, you know, went down significantly. And now we're at the point where we're just now breaking back out of those all-time highs. And so do I think altcoins are going to get demolished if Bitcoin goes straight to 250,000? Well, I mean, not necessarily, because one way I can look at this for you guys to help you visualize, let's look at the total market cap. And actually, let's look at the total altcoin market cap. And let's go all the way back here to the last cycle. And let's talk about what we saw kind of play out in that last cycle, because it's honestly really similar here. There's not a whole lot of difference. Now, what I will say is Bitcoin, so we know Bitcoin bottomed right here at 3K, and it went from basically quarter four at 3K all the way up to 20,000, in about 70 days. And so that was Bitcoin's final move from about 11th of September all the way until about the 11th of December. A couple months, Bitcoin went up and finished the top of its move. And so if we draw a line here where Bitcoin bottomed, we can see that the altcoin total market cap bottomed at the exact same place. They both bottomed and made their lows at the same spot. But Bitcoin went and made another high right here. Bitcoin makes a new all-time high, and altcoins are still below their previous all-time high. They're still just kind of consolidating sideways, right? And then this is where Bitcoin really starts to lead. It has one little pullback right about here. On this pullback, we actually see the altcoins start to break out. That was when the altcoins broke out, was when Bitcoin actually pulled back. And then what we saw here was Bitcoin go over the next couple months just pretty much vertical. So Bitcoin topped right here. So Bitcoin tops, and we can see that the altcoin total market cap actually rose another 110% after Bitcoin topped. What we see for Bitcoin is we top here at 20K. We make our first lower high in the new bear trend, and altcoins actually make their final higher high inside of that move. And so if Bitcoin is to go to 250,000 by the end of the year, do I think it's going to crush the alts? I don't think it's going to crush the alts. The alts are going to go up. I mean, the worst that they can do is something like this, where Bitcoin first makes a new all-time high and they go sideways, right? That's something that can happen. What we know inside of the markets is the fact that altcoins always lag. Altcoins follow Bitcoin. We've known this for a long time. That's nothing new. And so it's to be expected that it'll play out in a similar way. I honestly think Bitcoin will go up. And it's always Bitcoin that leads the way. So it's Bitcoin driving all of the new value inside the market. It goes through Bitcoin and then trickles through Bitcoin down to the rest of the markets out there. There will be some cryptos that outperform. Some cryptos will do better than Bitcoin. They'll outperform Bitcoin. They'll go up higher. They'll correct less. And those are really the ones where you want to put your money into. But at the end of the day, the majority of the altcoins will end up pulling the similar type of move where, Bitcoin might start leading the way. It starts going into price discovery. The altcoins are following, but they're not going up quite as high. They're having bigger pullbacks than Bitcoin. Until finally, my guess is somewhere in between the midway point of this blow off top. That's when we see the altcoins start taking off. And so, I don't think they're going to get crushed. I think they're going to go up with Bitcoin. They might underperform Bitcoin in the early part. But this cycle is also a lot different than what we saw in 2017. In 2017, we had already seen one major alt season. In this one, we have seen an alt season. We've seen like a couple examples. But true alt season to me is when we see all of the altcoins go up together, all at the exact same time. All of them are making big breakout moves, similar to what we saw in 2017. Are we going to see that again this cycle? Because so far it's only been the likes of DeFi and NFTs and things like that that have really taken off and been outliers. But I do think that at the end of this part of the cycle is when we're going to see the likes of many other high caps. Some of the dinosaur coins like Bitcoin Cash, like Dash, maybe EOS, some of those cryptos that haven't done anything this entire bull run. If they're going to do anything, it's going to happen at the tail end of the cycle. And so because a lot of cryptos have lagged, because a lot of them haven't really done a whole lot compared to what we saw in the last cycle, I wouldn't be surprised if, Bitcoin outperforms for the short term. But once we hit, 80K plus, that's when we're going to start to see those altcoins really taking off. The altcoins are just way more undervalued. A lot of them haven't really moved at all this entire bull run. And so with Bitcoin already, being at the completion of its bull run, I just find it inevitable that we still find a massive alt run inside of the end of this year. And so I don't think it's going to demolish the altcoins by any means. I mean, we want Bitcoin to go up really high because the higher Bitcoin goes, the more room our altcoins have to run in the process. And so that's something to keep a note of, guys. It's something really important that a lot of people kind of forget about. But that's really what I'm watching for a lot when it comes down to the end of the year and the blow off top. Let's see here. What other questions do you guys have? Let's read through here. Blockchain Backer hasn't been wrong. Blockchain Backer's great. I just think that he will be wrong about his, it's like 80K Bitcoin target. I can't remember exactly what the target was, but I do think that he's going to be wrong on that. And I mean, that at the end of the day, everybody's wrong. You can say that you're right all the time, but at the end of the day, nobody's actually going to be right all the time. You can make millions and millions of dollars and you can still be wrong. At the end of the day, it's not about being right or wrong. It's about making the most money possible. So if somebody sells at 80K, if somebody sells at 200K, both of them are making profit. So I mean, you know, there's really no clear winner for the most part. Do I still hold ramp? Yeah, I do hold ramp, actually. I do hold ramp. I was actually looking at it the other day. What about Ecofi? Let's talk about Ecofi real quick, because it's been a little while since I've covered old Ecofi. Honestly, I was looking at buying some more just because... Where's the Uniswap? Right there. I think it looks good, personally. I think it looks really good. Now let's go remove these lines. Okay. I really, really like the chart of Ecofi for a few different reasons. This could go a slight bit lower, but honestly, guys, if the market's going to keep breaking out, we're going to see the rest of the markets break out as a whole. It might, you know, lag in the short term because it is a low cap. But regardless, everything we've seen up to this point is solid. I love the chart of Ecofi, and it just looks like a really undervalued cycle because what we saw was the listing pump. Almost every single one of these are going to do this. Whenever you see a new crypto get added, they make a listing pump. They correct. A lot of them will fall to new lows. Some of them will barely maintain a higher high above the green candle, but a lot of them are going to fall to new lows. And then that's when they begin their market cycle. So what we've seen, we saw some accumulation, and then we really saw our first impulse. We actually made a new all-time high, went all the way up to like 21 bucks, and then we've pulled back. But I mean, this entire pullback is us still maintaining a higher high above the previous accumulation. If anything, it looks almost the exact same. It's just a fractal of this for the most part. And I do believe that we're going to get a brand new cycle in here. But with this cycle, this is really just the first impulse, right? We've never even had one. This wasn't a higher high, so this doesn't even count. This was us getting added to the exchange. This is our first higher high from 50 cents to 20 bucks and back down to, you know, 4 bucks. This is our first higher high. And so if we measure the length of that higher high, what we could expect to find inside of the next impulse, you know, in my opinion, we're going to be looking at at least the 1618, which is $36. Chances are this thing goes all the way upwards of the 2618 plus, which is going to be $50. And I mean, where we're at today, you're looking at, I think, over a 10x return. Yeah, so like 11x return if we manage to go all the way back up to the 2618. So I honestly think that all of this stuff is solid, especially when the NFT hype comes back in. Because one of the things with Ecofi is it's all dependent upon NFTs, big part of what makes Ecofi Ecofi. And so we're also in an NFT bear market, and so you're not going to see too much outperformance in some of these besides the ones that have kind of been outliers. But when the NFT hype comes back in, I fully expect that this one's going to do really, really well on top of all of that. So I'm personally looking to buy a little bit more, and now's a great time to actually jump back in my opinion. Let's see here. What other questions you guys have? Tell me, where do you see this money coming from that pushes it not only to 100K but 200K plus? This isn't like 2017 when there was a 20K, when 20K was a top price. I mean, here's the thing. If you're trying to compare it to 2017, if anything, there's more bullish narratives than ever before, because in 2017, Bitcoin went from $200 to $20,000 without any institutions. The first time we've ever even had institutions was here. The very top of the cycle, the first institutional ramp opened, which was the CME futures, and it was the exact same day Bitcoin crashed. So obviously the institution shorted the top of Bitcoin, and if I show you the Bitcoin futures chart, you guys are going to know exactly what I'm talking about. It's not coincidence that the exact day that that futures opened for Bitcoin is the exact top of the last cycle. They shorted the top, and so you guys got to remember, institutions have been in for the last few years, and they've been accumulating the entire time. As everybody panic sold at 20K, guess who had open shorts that every single time you panic sold profited those person shorts? It was the institutions. They were shorting, and everybody that panic sold profited their shorts. And so they accumulated this entire time, right? The contract was 1 year. The exact day it opened was the exact day Bitcoin topped. The exact day that the contract ended was the exact bottom for Bitcoin. They perfectly shorted the market and panic sold everybody out of their positions. And in the process, they accumulated throughout this entire period of time. Now we're in price discovery. We've made our first higher high, and we're now breaking outside of that higher high. This is no different than anything we've ever seen up to this point. And so to say, you know, where is all of this money going to come? It's going to come from retail investors. I mean, the foundation and all of everything that we've seen up to this point was created by institutions. They built this entire foundation. Guess who it was that created this massive move into price discovery? It was retail investors. Retail investors were hearing about it on the news. They heard Elon Musk that was buying Dogecoin and had Tesla investing their reserves into Bitcoin. And they were hearing all this stuff. They heard about China and all this positive stuff over there when Bitcoin was up in these high values. And so it's always retail that drives these insane valuations. And in this cycle, there is some FOMO coming out of the institutional end. But you guys got to remember, institutions aren't here to FOMO buy. They're here to make a profit by accumulating cheap. And they use, mainstream news. They use different media outlets, whether it's online news on the internet, whether it's, mainstream news on television, all of this stuff. They're going to use that as a way to provide exit liquidity. Just the other day, I saw an article come out talking about how the CEO of Apple actually has Bitcoin that he invested in. Guys, the reason you're hearing those things isn't because they're just now telling you that they bought it. They didn't just now get into Bitcoin. They've been into Bitcoin. The only reason they're telling us that they hold Bitcoin is because that means that us, random people that don't have that much money, are going to go and invest into crypto thinking, oh man, if the Apple CEO owns this stuff and I don't own it, I definitely need to get some exposure. So they need exit liquidity. Who's exit liquidity? Retail investors. How do you get money to come into the market? By shilling it to retail investors. How do you do that? By the news, by just having major influence, whether you're a famous person, whether you're really established in the modern world. All of these things, that's where the money comes from. It's always from retail investors. And so for people to think, there's just not enough money inside of the world, one chart I always show people. Let's see if I can find it. This is actually an outdated metric. There's way more money inside the world today than ever before. But I always go to here, demonocracy.info, and this actually shows you a visual representation of all of the world's wealth. And so whenever people ask me this question, because I get it asked all the time, where is all of this money going to come from? I find it impossible. Well, where is the money came from the very beginning? How has any of these bull runs happened, right? And so that's the problem, is everybody always thinks of in the present now, and they can't actually look into the future a little ways. I mean, they just don't understand how much money can flood into these markets. And if you can't understand where the money comes from, to have a visualization of how much money is actually in the world is a great way to start. Keep in mind, guys, that this metric goes back to like 2016, 2017 was when this was made. So we have way more inflation. We have way more money inside the world. So to say that just go through this. We'll just go through this real quick. So this is talking when the total market cap of crypto is 14 billion. That was literally when I got into crypto back in 2016. This is outdated and old. The richest people, this is obviously outdated because we have Elon Musk that's worth $272 billion just himself. World's biggest companies, these are worth over $1 trillion now, a lot of them. So guys, look at the biggest companies in the world. Keep in mind, these are all probably at least double in size, probably pretty close to that. I guess like anywhere from, 50% plus in value, all of these have gained. And these are only one companies. I mean, they don't really do a whole lot. This is Bitcoin. A Bitcoin is a way for us to hold our money and without the use of a third party, and also being able to keep all of our transactions fairly private or at least personal, where we can be our own bank, where I can send any amount of money anywhere in the world in like 30 minutes. And this is only Bitcoin. We can talk about a number of different cryptos out there. And so some of these have about the same market cap as Bitcoin. That's just one company that does practically nothing compared to how much more useful Bitcoin is. All the investments in the world, keep in mind these are all outdated. The market cap of gold is right around 10 trillion, somewhere right around there. I don't know what the market cap of silver is, but I mean, think about gold, guys. Gold is slow. You can't actually send gold very good. Bitcoin is basically gold, and I can actually send it to you any amount that I want pretty much instantly. I mean, you can't compare it to gold. So if gold has 9 times the market cap of Bitcoin, and you ask, where is the money going to come from? Don't you find more value in being able to use Bitcoin than being able to use gold? I still think gold's valuable. I don't think gold's going to disappear, but Bitcoin is arguably more valuable in a lot of ways. Now we can look at base money and bank money. Base money and bank money. To give you guys an example, or what it is, base money consists of money held by banks, received from their central banks when banks sold government or corporate bonds to the central banks. The money is available for lending to the private sector. Money stored in banks' vaults, physical cash, and cash in people's hands. That is what is known as base money. Bank money consists of the money stored in banks by corporations and people available for withdrawal at any time, right? So that's like almost, 80 trillion. Let's just go with that. This is basically $80 trillion worth of money. And that's only bank money, right? That's only the money that's being held inside of banks. And so you guys don't think that a small fraction of this could go into Bitcoin? You guys don't think 3 trillion of this could go into Bitcoin's market cap or go into the rest of the crypto's market cap? How about we go and look at the bonds in the world? Keep in mind, guys, all of the true numbers are way bigger than this right now because we've had inflation. There's all of this stuff is valued at way higher than that. And so you don't think, 3 trillion of the value of government bonds in the world can go into crypto? Bonds are going negative, especially since COVID. We've had a number of different bonds, 20, 30-year plus bonds that have gone negative. So you're not actually earning anything. You don't think that some of that money is going to leave the bond market and go into Bitcoin? How about if we go and look at all the stocks and corporate bonds in the world? 116 trillion, which is probably double than that, or close to with all of the inflation. You guys don't think a few trillion of this can't go into crypto? How about the value of all private business and real estate in the world? 290 trillion. You guys really don't think that a few people would want to sell their house and buy Bitcoin instead? And we could go and we could look at the quadrillion value of the derivatives, which, derivatives are kind of imaginary in their own way and hard to understand. But, you don't think a small fraction of this can go into crypto? We have a ton of money inside of the world. There's a ton of value inside of the world, and crypto is doing something that is going to completely revolutionize literally everything in our world. All of the future of business, the future of internet, the future of science, everything in our world will be on the blockchain. It doesn't have to be using Bitcoin, but Bitcoin is directly correlated to the blockchain because Bitcoin's the first piece of technology to be using blockchain, right? And so Bitcoin's automatically factored into the equation. And so if you have all of this money that has to be uploaded to the blockchain, keep in mind, guys, that's why I'm so hyped about crypto and blockchain, is because this is some of this value, like real estate. We've never had a true way to transact it on a global network quickly, right? It's hard to be able to trade real estate with a guy in some different country. It's hard to buy real estate in different countries. Sometimes it can even be hard to buy real estate in the own country you're at. It can take a long period of time before you can purchase that. Through the power of blockchain, through the power of crypto, we're going to have means to be able to trade real estate effectively, almost instantly on a global scale for the first time ever. And you're asking me, where is this money going to come from? If you're asking me where the money is going to come from, you don't understand the value of blockchain, you don't understand the value of crypto, and how this is actually going to be tapping in to the entire world's value supply, as well as unearthing new value that we've never had a way to actually transact on a global market. Crypto will be the biggest thing to ever happen in the history of humanity up to this point. Obviously, new things will come down the line, but this is literally the Internet of Things. Imagine how powerful the Internet was, where before you had stock notes, where to prove that you own a stock, you literally had a piece of paper, a certificate that said, I own this many shares. That was before the Internet. To send emails, well, there wasn't emails. You had to write a letter. That could take weeks. Think about how slow things were, and then through the power of the Internet, how much everything changed. Now imagine all of our things, all of the money, everything in society, everything, all of the value in the world now being uploaded to the blockchain and the internet. This is where blockchain comes in. It's literally the Internet of Things. We're going to be communicating with all of our electronics. We're going to be communicating with all of these different things. Our technology will basically become one with humans, whether you think that's a good idea or a bad idea. It's inevitable. And so I'm not trying to get into belief systems on that, but I'm telling you guys that this is what is going to happen. So I always find it kind of silly when people ask, where is this money going to come from? There is literally infinite money on this earth. And the more money that they print, it's going to go somewhere. Even if it's hyperinflation and Bitcoin goes to $2 billion each and the price of a dollar can't even buy you anything anymore, regardless, it's going to happen. But there's going to be money coming into crypto. The question is, does it come from hyperinflation? Does it come from a true value proposition where, the market actually ends up taking off in a big way? These are all really important things to talk about. But I always, I get really passionate about this because it's just really important to understand where the money actually comes from, because most people still don't understand that, and I find it hard to believe. If you've been into crypto, surely you understand the value of what this brings, but it's all right. There's no stupid questions. Let's see here. What other questions that you guys have? I need to fix my stream settings. Who the hell is this Butch guy? putting you in timeout. Bad boy. What thoughts do you guys have? Ask me a good question, guys. Ask me a great question. What to invest in after our exit? Great question. Great question. Great question. So, guys, have you ever looked into stocks? Do you guys look into stocks? If you guys look into stocks, drop some tickers inside the description. Let me know what you guys look at. Let me know why you guys look at it. If you guys have been investing in stocks for a long time, maybe you did this before crypto, let me know what you guys are looking into, because this is actually the big thing. You know, a lot of people have been asking me, what am I investing in at the end of the year? Once we take all of our profits, once we get out of the market, what are we doing after that point? And that's why I actually have been looking heavily into other markets. So something I've been looking into is basically cannabis stocks. I've been looking into cannabis stocks for a long time. Cannabis stocks, in my opinion, are going to be something that does very well. When I look at the cannabis industry, I see an industry that's waiting to explode, and I do believe it's inevitable that it does happen. We've seen many different states legalize, whether it's recreational, whether it's just medical. We've seen a number of these different states. I live in Utah, full of Mormon people. The church has a big governing force inside of politics here, and they are super against anything to do with cannabis. And so we've actually already passed medicinal use for cannabis, and that's all gone through with the church. And so, I mean, if Utah, of all places, is going to be promoting cannabis and the use of it, even if it's just medical, it's happening everywhere. The only hurdle that's actually preventing this is actually the federal ban on cannabis. It's still Schedule 1 in the federal regulation. So, I mean, at the end of the day, a state could follow its own regulation. It could legalize it. It could decriminalize it. It could do whatever it wanted. But at the end of the day, the federal government still has bans on that. And so until the Fed comes out and they basically just, cancel that scheduling off, they write off, cannabis as something else, whether it's a Schedule 2, 3, or whether it's just not even scheduled at all, that's when I think that we're going to see a ton of new money coming into that market. And one I actually watch for, I do believe that this is the biggest cannabis stock out there, and that's Tilray. I believe that this is the biggest cannabis company. And so I'm kind of giving you guys, one of those buy the bottom scenarios. The reason I like cannabis so much is because for me, guys, and I'm sure a lot of you guys out there as well, crypto has spoiled me to where I've made way more money doing this in a much quicker amount of time, way easier than any other market out there. And so I'm constantly thinking in my head, all right, well, how do I replicate crypto in other markets? Is it possible? And I used to be the person that said, you can't make money like this in stocks. You can't do anything like crypto. And I used to believe that, but then I actually looked into stocks, and then I realized that that's not the truth. You guys can definitely make a lot of money inside of the stock market. In fact, if you were to buy Tilray today and hold to the all-time high of what it made back in 2018, that's like 24x. So, I mean, that's great returns. That's bigger than a lot of crypto returns. I mean, if you would have bought ETH at the very low when it was at like $200, that would have got you, less than half. So, these are also stocks out there that do really well. They're going to take a lot longer period of time, in my opinion, but they might not at the same time. Stocks as a whole are kind of in a unique category where I'm still learning how the best way to trade them goes, but these are influenced by news. And so if there was ever, the federal government came out and said that they were basically, going to ban the scheduling of cannabis and they were going to make it legal on a mass scale or whatever, One of those basic things coming out could really drive the price up significantly. We could see one of those massive big candles that just come in here from everybody trying to buy at the same time. That's personally what I'm trying to plan ahead for. By accumulating in the lows, by accumulating before any of that stuff passes, I'm getting in at the ground floor. So if anything like that does happen, which in my opinion is inevitable, that's where I think we're going to see some of these big moves take off. And so the cannabis stocks, they all look about the same. If you pull up a chart, they're all going to look roughly about the same as this. Tilray is, I think, the biggest one out there. Another one out there that's pretty solid is Kronos. And all of these are, pretty much at their support floors, where if they break, they're going to go to a massive crash. But if this is the bottom, you're getting it at the ground floor. I actually own some of this. I think I'm at like a barely loss. I pretty much bought right where we're at. So I'm pretty much break even. But I mean, cannabis stocks for me are no-brainers. But then you guys also have to take a look at uranium. Now, in my opinion, uranium is going on one of the biggest bull runs that we've ever seen inside of the energy sector. Now, if we zoom out of this and we come over here and we look, this is the ETF for uranium. Now, if you guys notice, if we pull up the volume, there is a ton of money coming into these markets, a ton of money coming into the uranium market, and it just started its uptrend. This is the beginning of a breakout, right? And this is the point where I do think we're going to start going, pretty parabolic. I think we'll get an impulse. I wouldn't be surprised to see this ETF, the ETF for uranium, go all the way up to 66. We might get a little pullback like this, but regardless, I think that this thing's going to just keep going up significantly. This entire market is massively undervalued. I think that the market of uranium is going to see a lot more upside potential as we get closer to all of these talks with global warming and climate change and all of the stuff with these world leaders trying to make these changes inside of our economies with, all of this thought towards the environment. In my opinion, uranium is going to be a key factor in all of that. And so to be investing in it now is literally getting in at the ground floor of a massive commodity bull run. To me, commodities are going to be the best investments. That's where I'm going to be looking to target at the end of this bull run. I'm going to be taking my profits next month. I'm going to be getting out of the market. And then I'm going to be diversifying my profits into brand new sectors, keeping some on the sidelines, waiting to go back into crypto. But for the most part, guys, if you are here and you've made a lot of money and you've made life-changing money, more money than you ever thought possible, make sure that you take that profit and don't leave it in crypto. Don't leave it in the bank and expect to just jump back into crypto. Diversify that into other markets. I really firmly believe that that's going to be, or the people that do that are going to set themselves up to be the most profitable, because it's one of the biggest mistakes that I wish I would have done in the last cycle was instead of just being so greedy with crypto, trying to hold it and make as much as I can, I could have took my profits, which were small. I didn't have very much. I had like less than $50,000 at the top of the last cycle, but I could have taken that. I could have invested into stocks, and I could have turned that into $100,000 by the time Bitcoin even started doing anything. And so these are all just things that I think that people should think about ahead of time. Because if you've made a lot of money, I mean, you're going to piss it away by holding crypto, especially in the bear market. A lot of your cryptos that you think are just going to be the greatest things ever, the ones that last a long time, they're not going to last a long time and they're going to die. So you don't want to get stuck, being inside of all of that mess when it goes down. My plan is stock mining, staking, invest. Not a bad plan. Not a bad plan at all. Take majority profits. Stake at the bottom of the bear market. Don't hold through the bear market. It's just not worth it. I'm telling you guys right now. Gold and silver breaking out at the moment. Yes, they are. And actually, Bitcoin looks a lot like the silver or the gold chart. And what I'm really excited about, guys, something I think you should also look into if you're looking into stocks. If you're looking into stocks, you guys should really look into junior silver miners. So any company that's mining silver, I think that those are going to be great investments. And honestly, guys, the chart of silver looks great. I am a full-blown believer in silver. I think silver over gold all the way. Silver is massively more undervalued. I'm speaking of the same things that everybody said for the last 30 plus years, it seems like. All these old heads have been saying the same thing, but it's true. The price of silver has been manipulated, and I believe that this is where we finally see the true valuation of silver come into play. Now, guys, if we look at the price of silver on a logarithmic chart on the monthly time scale, this is literally one of the most bullish charts I've ever seen in my entire life, and I could not stress that enough. What we see here is the same pattern I've been talking to you guys about with Bitcoin. What I've been saying with why Bitcoin's going to go to 250, why ETH is going to go to 20,000, it's because of this universal chart pattern right here. And if you guys remember, it's what's known as the cup and handle formation. Big round, we have the handle. Once we break out of the top of this resistance, it's literally go time, and we're going to see such a massive move coming inside of silver that you guys would not believe. And I am a firm believer on that. And so investing into the fundamentals of silver, AE mining, how to go about finding good junior silver miners, maybe you guys already know some. Do I know any? No, I don't. I need to do research on them, but I'm so backed up with crypto, doing all of the stuff that I am, I'm finding a hard time to make more space for research. But at the end of this cycle, guys, these are all of the things that I'm personally going to be looking for. So once again, if you guys do want to join the Discord server, you guys want to get into my VIP, links are going to be provided for you in the description to go ahead and find my website for that, because all of the stocks I'm going to be buying, all of that stuff that I'm going to be doing in the bear market, even if I'm shorting the crypto cycle, all of that's going to be inside of the VIP. So if you guys do want to get access to that, go check it out. But regardless, we will see a massive run. And so do your own research. Cannabis, uranium, junior silver miners, even any miner for that matter, even if it's gold, you know, they're going to do well. Gold will do well as a whole. But in my opinion, silver is where the money's at. And I think that silver will give the biggest returns. I mean, if we can go to like $200 per ounce, that's like 6x, almost 7x, which I think is realistic. Completely honest with you guys. I think that that's realistic. A lot of people think I'm crazy, but I've been told I'm crazy a million times. And honestly, I look forward to being called crazy because oftentimes my analysis is proven to be not always right. No one's ever going to be perfectly right, but my analysis over the last couple of years has been proven to be super accurate. That's why I'm sticking to it with the end of the year timeframes. That's why I'm sticking to 250K. I mean, I've been right up to this point, so why wouldn't I just stick to that exact same thing? Those are just my thoughts. But one thing I wanted to shout out for you guys. So I actually launched an NFT project. I launched it with a famous artist named Miguel Paredes. And so this is something that I'm launching with him and then another friend. So if you guys do want to actually join, we already have the Discord server over here. Let's talk about this real quick. So this is Miguel Paredes. He is really famous, big time artist. And he actually hosts the Art Basel in Miami every single year. And he's invited me to go out there on December 2nd until the 4th. But this is what we're actually creating here. Let's look at some of the stuff. So the Wheelies is what they're called. It's basically going to be one of the world's first animated NFT cartoons. And so if you guys actually want to check this out, we're going to be releasing the 5,000 characters for the mint. So instead of 10,000, there's going to be 5,000 mintable characters. These are going to be the main characters inside the actual cartoon series because that's what we're going to be releasing after. After the mint takes place, we're going to actually be releasing episode 1. We've hired we've actually hired 8 full-time animators. We're also going to be getting voice actors on top of that to be playing this out. It's going to be a 15-minute cartoon. We've spent a lot of money in preparation towards building this thing out. And we've actually got some of the characters finished. These are what the characters roughly are going to look like. There's so many different traits in here that this little 20-second clip isn't going to show everything. But this is an NFT project that I'm actually releasing with the help of Miguel. And so I'm really confident this one's going to do really well. Not only that, but you guys are also going to be getting a cartoon out of the whole thing. It's going to be really cool because basically what it is, it's basically, to explain it simply, well, I actually think I have what are the Wheelies? Okay. Welcome to the world's first animated NFT cartoon. 80 years ago, during the John F. Kennedy presidency, a rogue paperclip falling underneath the president's desk spawned a microcolony of germs called the Wheelies. For years, this community of germs grew and formed what we know of today as Wheelie Land. This once quiet, bustling community of germs finds themselves in trouble as the future of Wheelie Land has come under the attack of a foreign substance sure to doom Wheelies and the Wheelie Land as we know it. For over 30 years, the idea of Wheelies has been conceptualized by world-famous artist Miguel Paredes. What once started as a comic strip in the New York newspaper has now gone digital in the world of collectible NFTs. 5,000 unique characters will be available to mint in December. Unlike the simplicity of other NFT projects, the Wheelies has an entire population of characters inside Wheelie Land. This means you can mint male, female, and even children come launch day. Each character comes with its own set of rare traits, items, and backgrounds. After mint concludes and we reveal the 5,000 characters, episode number 1 of the Wheelies will be released to the public. Each episode will be 15 minutes long and will run multiple episodes through each season of Wheelies. OG holders of Wheelie will also reserve their position to receive future airdrops of the new characters, as well as rare items added to the Wheelie Land metaverse. Characters, items, and traits will show up inside the cartoon through each season. So we also have this little introduction of the Wheelies. And so if you guys do want to join the Discord, I'll go ahead and link a invite right here so that you guys can actually join. But this is a new project that I'm launching, and so if you guys are into NFTs, I highly recommend checking this out. It's going to be cool. Like I said, it's literally going to be the first animated NFT cartoon where the characters are going to be used inside the cartoon. So if you guys mint one of the characters or get one of them, it's obviously going to be way more rare. But it's a fun project. I'm super excited to give that to you guys. I haven't updated on YouTube. Figured now would be a good opportunity to actually talk about that. So here is the invite. I just dropped it inside the chat. I just pinned it. So you guys... Oh, I forgot. I have to share my screen. I dropped the invite inside the chat. So just go ahead and use that invite link, and then you guys can actually go to the official Discord server over here. But that's how you're going to be able to find it. Let me go there. Okay, sorry guys. Here's actually where it is. I got to get better at live streaming. I literally never do this ever, 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 ever. But this is the Wheelies, right? So join in here, get in here, come check it out. You know, meet the team. This is Miguel, world famous artist, over 573,000 followers on Instagram. Justin Bieber owns his art. There's a number of other famous people that own his art. He talks with these people. They've already, he's already reached out. They've already said that they were interested. So, I mean, this is a big thing that we're actually building here. It's kind of been under the table, hush hush. I haven't talked about it a lot besides on Twitter. So I've kind of left it outside of YouTube. There will be a whitelist. So if you guys want to get in here, be some of the early adopters, we will be creating a whitelist just as a way to get the early adopters in, give them a little bit of an early advantage, but mainly just to mitigate some of the gas fees that are going to be going on. So that was one of the reasons why we decided to do a whitelist. The entire thing won't be whitelisted. We will have just a main public sell as well. But I mean, if you guys want to check these out, this is pretty much what they look like. Like I said, the main characters of the storyline are going to be these guys right here. We have the video that's going to be the introduction of it. This is what the characters look like. These are only the male characters. We've rolled for the females. We've rolled through the children as well. They're going to look the same as far as what traits are shown here, but they're going to be women and children. So there's a number of different unique stuff that we've got up here. There's so many different kinds of traits that aren't going to be shown right here. But this is just a gist of what the males are going to be looking like. And so if you guys want to come in here and check it out, join the Discord server, stay up to date. We're going to be dropping a lot of new stuff on this project. Launch is going to be inside of December. So we look forward to seeing you guys inside of there. Lots of new faces, lots of new joiners. Help me get this thing to 1,000 followers. You know, at the end of the day, guys, I saw a lot of crap inside the NFT market. A lot of stuff that I personally wouldn't want to invest in. And a lot of stuff that a lot of people were interested in, but mainly just cash grabs. And that's kind of the problem with NFTs. There really isn't anything that unique. I mean, you're just buying these characters, which if the characters are cool, that's awesome. You know, no disrespect to anybody with an NFT project. But for me personally, I'm not really that big on, you know, just wasting a bunch of Ethereum to buy some dumb characters that just don't do anything. That's why we wanted to make this project, because we're literally the first people that are making an NFT cartoon. And so we have real people that are inside of the animation world, because, you know, Miguel's famous. The dude works with these people all the time. We have some big time people working on this project, and it's super exciting because for the first time ever, we're going to actually launch a cartoon with this stuff. And so you're going to be able to see the characters inside the cartoon. We may get it to the point where we give options of how the community can actually vote and dictate what happens with characters, what happens in the storyline. We want to make this a super interactive, community-driven project. And so we're super excited to actually give this to you guys. So make sure you guys check it out. All of the cool links are going to be in the description. We appreciate all of the support here. We're getting close to wrapping this up. I'm about 48 minutes in. So if you guys have any further questions, go ahead and drop them. Why do you have me banned from Discord? I don't even know who you are, dude, honestly. I also don't really ban people. I have moderators, so I don't know. Couldn't tell you why you're banned. Probably because you broke the rules. What other questions we got in here before we wrap things up? The link has stopped working. Let me get another link. I'll drop the main chat. We must have broke it. Too many people try to join. Join. Okay, new link's been pinned. Join the Wheelies. You guys might as well. You guys might all... I don't know what I'm talking about. You guys should consider also going over here. This is an old web browser. I'll link it. You guys can also find the Wheelies Twitter page. If you follow me on Twitter and you go through what I've been sharing on my Twitter account, you're going to be able to easily find all of the Wheelies stuff. So go check it out if you guys want to. That you guys can also follow over there for some more updates. Ecofi, what's happening? I talked about Ecofi at the beginning of this video. Go back and rewatch it. What else we got here? Will you be giving post-crypto investments in your group? Yep. Covering stocks, covering commodities, covering literally everything that I want to make money at. That's the thing, guys. Inside the group, like, I could never know what this channel will, like, transition into. I don't know if, you know... I mean, I'm not going to be completely out of crypto by any means. But you never know, like, long-term what this channel is going to kind of transform into. I'll do investing stuff. It'll still be DIY investing and all of that. But if I start jumping into stocks, I start getting a brand new community of stock people following me. You know, my videos will migrate to some extent, but literally anything I do with money, whether it's marketing, whether it's investing, whether it's something completely different, I'm going to be talking about it on this channel. This channel is not only for crypto. It's not only going to be for stocks. It's not only going to be for stuff like that, but I mean, making money online, marketing, all of that stuff. I mean, I'm going to be teaching it inside of this video. And so whatever I do with my channel, whatever ways I make money, if you guys join the VIP, you're just going to be getting all of that insight in there. Anything I do with my money gets taught to the VIPs inside of that group, and it will be that way for lifetime access as long as this channel's being worked on, as long as I'm doing stuff like this. I do plan to take like a little break inside the bear market once I sell, just because I'm literally tapped out, and it's just kind of tough, but I will constantly be back in there. I just might take a short-term break. How much is life-changing money for you? I mean, here's the thing. Like, there's not, like, one specific number that you can throw out there that just, this is it. Like, what happened for me, I was broke. 2 years ago, I was living in my grandma's basement. Like, I didn't have any money. And, you know, a year or two prior to that, the only money I ever had was occasionally when I would go to my grandmother's house, and she would give me $40 out of her purse. I was literally, like, 20 years old. Like, the only way I paid for my editing software to do YouTube in the bear market was because my grandma would occasionally give me 40 bucks. And so, like, when it comes to life-changing money, I used to tell myself, man, if I had $10,000, I'd be set. And I would also say, once I got $10,000, I was like, man, 100 grand? If I hit 100 grand, that's it. I'm set. Then I hit 100 grand, and then I was like, man, 100 grand isn't that much. I need $1 million. If I had $1 million, then everything's perfect. Then I hit $1 million, and then I was like, man, $10 million. $10 million seems right. That's what I need. And so, at the end of the day, guys, the number that you make to sit there and think to yourself, oh, I need this amount of money, and then I'll be happy. The problem is, you're putting it off into the future, your happiness. You're attaching your happiness to money, which is just stupid. And then you're putting it off into the future, saying, when this happens, then I will be happy, right? It doesn't work like that. You could have $1 million, you could have $10 million, you could have $100 million. Will it help some things in your life? Of course. You're going to be able to buy things you never thought you would. You'd be able to get a nicer car. You'd be able to get a nicer house, go on vacation, quit your job, all of that stuff. But I'm here to tell you guys right now that I've made what most people would consider life-changing money. I've made what I consider life-changing amounts of money. And I always think about the fact that in the back of my mind, I'm always thinking, man, I need more. I need more than this. I need more than this. It's never ending. And that's the thing with money, guys. It's not going to buy your happiness. You got to learn how to be happy before you make money. Because if you're unhappy and then you make a bunch of money, you're going to be basically masking that unhappiness by buying stuff, materialistic stuff. You know, maybe you start having the wrong people start stepping into your life because of the fact you're flaunting money, things like that. You know, money doesn't mean a whole lot besides the fact you can focus on your own self more. That's the thing, is if you, whatever life-changing amount of money to me is enough money to be able to quit your job and focus what you want to do full time. That's the definition of life-changing money. And that's different from everybody, right? To be able to solely quit your job, quit anything that you don't want to do, and focus on yourself or focus on helping others, that, in my opinion, is the definition of life-changing wealth. And so whatever that is for you, check it out. And that's how you can kind of make a decision, because it's different from everybody, guys. I mean, I've already hit life-changing wealth, and I'm still somebody that literally thinks I need more. So it's not like there's some magical number. All right, XRP, everybody's saying it. I will cover XRP, even though I literally just made a video about it yesterday. XRP, XRP, XRP. Let's look at it. So let's go to the 3-day time frame. Let's take a little peek. We had a little pullback. The whole market pulled back. Do I care? Am I scared? No, I'm not. XRP is going to be breaking out. Well, I've already said this a million times. The next move for XRP is the big one. This is the one that takes us to the all-time highs. This has just been accumulation and consolidation. If we look at our bare minimum price target for this recent impulse that we saw, we're going to go to at least $2.30. Chances are we go higher than that. I keep saying that we're going to go to the all-time highs and be breaking those all-time highs. That's my thoughts. XRP is bullish. XRP is going to pump. XRP is going to outperform Bitcoin and Ethereum as we get closer to the end of the year, which it has not done thus far. Shitcoin. Just kidding. But for real, I do think we're going to see XRP taking off pretty hard as we get closer towards the end of the year. I want to be rich to have money to divorce. What? What does that mean? I want to be rich to have money to divorce. Are you... I don't know what you're talking about, but... Let's see. Drop a great question, guys. Can you say something to us that you think we can't about price action or trend lines, or just something you can in the market that we can't? Give us some tips. Can you say something to us that you think we can't? What? I'm not sure what you mean, Napar? I don't know what you mean exactly. Can you say something to us that you think we can't about price action or trend lines, or just something you can give in the market that we can't? Try and reword that. I'm a little bit confused on what you mean there. Dent coin? Oh man. Is this a 2017 token? Yes, it is. Oh wow, look how... Oh, wow, this thing looks pretty good. Dent. I swear, dude, I thought I used to hold this. Like, literally all the way back here in 2017. I swear I used to hold this somewhere. I've lost so many tokens that I just lost, and it's worth a lot of money now, and this reminds me of that. Honestly, I mean, this is probably going to go up really high. I mean, I'm not going to lie. This most likely comes to, I mean, at least does a 4x in my opinion. Could easily go to new all-time highs. I don't know what's going to happen at the end of the year, but I am confident in saying that we're going to see a big move coming. It seems crazy these altcoins are going to go up that high, but it's what happens every single time. So, I mean, Dent, it definitely could do really, really well. Let's see. What are your time frames for alts going to be? Closer towards the end of December. Okay, can you say something to us that you think we can't about price action? There's some... I said reworded. I don't understand what you even say or mean by that. Can you say something to us that you think we can't about price action or trend lines? What do you mean? Donnie, this guy crying for ADA, help him once. What's its price target end of year? ADA, Cardano. Made a lot of money off of Cardano. Let's look at it here. Wow, look at that ugly rejection. What do I think of Cardano? Well, let's get it on a log scale. Honestly, I like Cardano a lot. I think it's going to do really, really well as we get closer towards the end of the year. My guess is we're going to be hitting 10 bucks. I definitely think that's possible. I'd say anywhere from like, I think we're going to hit 10 bucks personally. I don't know. It's just a guess at the end of the day. Like, I don't really know, but $10 seems reasonable for the end of the year. I mean, it might not, but time frames are most important, guys. As always, I'm selling time frames, whatever the price is when the time frames roll around, I'll be happy with. But I do believe that we could easily see, Cardano at a $10 valuation, which would be insane, but it's not that insane when it comes to crypto. So watch out for Cardano. Just came from blockchain backer, and he reckons BTC top is 75K. I mean, yeah, I've heard a lot about that. I disagree, and you guys already know why I disagree. But, whoever makes a profit is a winner regardless. So he's in profit. Obviously, he's been here for a while. But, I mean, for me, for Bitcoin to go to here and then crash is silly, in my opinion. It's just really silly. Just really silly to me. I mean, there's really no other way to put it. And that's the thing, is if Bitcoin goes to 75K and then crashes, alts are effed. Like, alts are screwed. There will be no alt season if Bitcoin goes to 75K and crashes. Letting you guys know that right now. If Bitcoin goes to 75K and crashes, altcoins won't even make a new all-time high and they'll crash. I mean, some of them have, but Bitcoin's not crashing at 75K. I hate to be the bearer of bad news for the people that sell at 75,000. But I mean, here's the thing, guys. Let's assume you sell at 75,000 and Bitcoin goes to 250,000 like I think it will. You're going to miss out on about 234%. So almost 2.5x you're going to miss out on. That's not very much. It's not very much at all. And if you've already made over 10x this entire period, who cares? I mean, honestly, who cares? Selling at $75,000, selling at $250,000. The big thing is, I know the blockchain backer's selling his Bitcoin, but I think he's holding his altcoin. So it really doesn't matter. I mean, Bitcoin, yes, it's expensive. I think it's going to go up a lot higher. I think it's silly to think that Bitcoin's going to crash and then altcoins are randomly just going to supermoon. I think that what has to happen for that scenario to play out is Bitcoin has to rally, it has to supermoon, and then once it's already finished a massive move like this and then starts to sell off, that's when we see alt season. It doesn't happen after a 5% move into new all-time highs. That's just, in my opinion, not what's going to take place. And so at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. If he holds his altcoins, he's going to make a shitload of money, because if he's wrong and Bitcoin goes up higher than he's expecting, he wins both ways. So it really doesn't matter that much. So you were telling me you can't find an alt that will outperform Bitcoin. Nope, nothing outperforms Bitcoin, bro. Nothing. I could never find an altcoin that would do bigger than 2x gains, ever. No, I'm a Bitcoin maximalist. I hold 100% of my portfolio in Bitcoin because nothing outperforms Bitcoin. All right, we're past an hour. We're past an hour. I told myself I'd make it 30 minutes, but... Are you into any NFTs, man? Check the pinned message and join the Discord server for the Wheelies. That's what I'm into. If you guys want to get the best NFT project out there, the most undervalued NFT project out there, you best be joining the Wheelies. You best be getting in here, and you're checking this out, because I'm telling you guys right now that this is going to be an awesome project. It's way cooler than the rest of them out there. It's more fun than the rest of them out there. And it's a cartoon. You guys are going to get a cartoon out of the whole thing. And not just one episode. We're going to be releasing multiple episodes. So if you guys want to see the coolest NFT project, join the Discord server. And come say, what up? Simple as that. But you guys honestly jumped in. We got a whole bunch of new people. Let's see how many new people. We gained over 100 so far, so shout out to you guys that came in here and joined. I'm honestly super excited about this project. I'm excited from the creator perspective. I mean, when I originally reached out to Miguel, I was like, hey, listen, I want to build an NFT project, But I'm kind of sick of how the current NFT projects are. Like, everything's just kind of stupid and a cash grab. I was like, I want to make something unique. I want to make something different that, you know, people can actually get somewhat of a creative inspiration from it. So that's why we decided to actually make the cartoon with it and kind of back the value of the NFTs to the cartoon, because we figured the best way to provide value to the NFT itself is to have, you know, a reason why they're valuable for the community and somewhat of an engagement factor. And so I think that it's going to do really, really well. And I really haven't talked about it. This is the first time I've talked about it on YouTube. I do plan on actually covering like a longer update on it. But if you guys want to get into what I believe the coolest NFT project is going to be, join the Discord server, check the pinned message up top, and you're going to be able to get in here. Come to Miami for my crypto party, summer 2022. I'd be down. I would probably have time. What do you think of Superfarm and DApp moves? I don't really have an opinion, to be honest. Superfarm will do good. Confident in saying that, but I don't really have too much of an opinion. VeChain bullish. I mean, here's the thing, guys. I'm literally bullish on everything. Everything's going to go up. Some of them are going to go up more than others. They're all going to go up. So the best thing is just to stick to the time frames and then sell based off of the time frames. Because I can't predict price. I mean, I've tried to predict price, and so far it's been stupid to try. I mean, I'm predicting price with 250K at the end of the year, but you guys already know that first and foremost, I'm selling off a time frame, so it doesn't necessarily matter. Bitcoin goes to 100K, if it goes to 400K, you know, goes to 75K in tops. Selling off of time frames. We need a meetup. It'd be fun to do a crypto meetup. I've just, I don't know. I live in Utah, so I have to travel somewhere. His BitShare is dead. Yes. It'll probably maybe pump a little bit. A lot of old alts from 2017 are basically dead. If you were to go all in on one coin, which one would you choose? Right now, none. I would never go all in. And if I had to go all in, I'd go all in on Bitcoin. That's the least risky pick possible. Bitcoin Cash. I mean, here's the thing, guys. All the old alts in 2017, they pretty much have done nothing. Will they do something? Probably, I would hope, but I don't know. I'm in Utah. Let's do a meetup. How many of you guys are in Utah? Drop a U in the chat if you're from Utah. Because I know I have a few Utah followers, especially on Twitter. Zion National Park Crypto Festival. Yeah, that'd be cool. I've never been to Zion. I've actually never even been to Moab either or anything like that. I've lived in Utah my whole life, but... Are you going to Miami? Most likely. I'll be there at the Art Basel or whatever it's called. I'm in Utah. I'll travel to Utah to visit. Evergrande effect on crypto. Your thought? Overrated. That's China's problem. China banned crypto, so I mean, what is it going to do? Dude, get to the parks. I know. I work too much. I'm an ex-Mormon with about 1 million fam in Utah. Welcome to the rest of us. You should come out for a meetup. We got a few Utah people in here. Surprising. Out of all the Utah people in here, how many of you are Mormon? I was actually never Mormon. I am a Christian. So, I mean, similar, but not actually. Cody. I hold some of this. What is it doing? Wow. Made a new all-time high. Yeah, I hold Cody from all the way back down in summer of 2020. Sometimes when you guys ask me about a coin, I've bought it already way earlier, and so I'm like, I don't like to even tell you what to do because I don't do that anyways. But if I bought something way early and then people ask me about it, I just don't want to even like tell them to buy it because I know that I wouldn't personally. I'm going to be selling it. So I don't really want to lead you guys to the slaughter. What do you think, Quant? I've been subscribed to you since 2019, I think. I'm up 8x. Nice job. Darrow. I haven't talked about old Darrow in so long. I used to talk about Darrow on this channel when I first made this channel. Oh, wow. It's going up even more. Yeah, guys, I made a video. My first video and my first buys for Darrow were right here at $1.11. Bought my first Darrow all the way back in 2019. Held it forever. Happened to notice that it was making a massive move. Went and checked. I literally invested like $200, $300. It's worth like $8,000 today. And so I actually made a decent amount off of Darrow. When I was so poor, guys, when I first bought Darrow, I was so poor. I was living in Colorado. I was living with my ex-girlfriend who it was just a nasty relationship from the very beginning. And I couldn't afford internet, like Wi-Fi. So I used to go to the library out in Colorado, and I used to freaking hang out there and get on the internet and update charts in my Discord server and stuff when I first launched it. And so Darrow was one of those that I bought with like all the money I had left, which is literally like a couple $100. And I forgot about it, actually. It was on their web wallet on Darrow for like years. And I just forgot about it until recently. Make sure you guys join. Man, got the burps. Make sure you guys join the Wheelie chat. If you guys want to get access to my NFT project, join the Wheelie chat with the pinned message up at the top. Donnie, has there been any movement with the Korea? I have heard that they some partnership with like Shiba whales. I really don't know. My thing with the Korea is I was under the impression that it would be out like early this year, and now it's almost at the end of this year and he still hasn't released it. So I reached out and told him, I was like, hey, when are you going to release the tokens? Like, I'm not going to talk about it unless you guys do that, because I'm obviously getting ready to sell all my crypto. And so it's really up to Dominic. I mean, if he wants to release the tokens, then that's the only thing hesitating, because I've already reached out. I already told him he needs to release the tokens. He needs to do all that stuff, and he obviously hasn't done that. I don't know, like, I'm still confident in Korea. I still like the project. Still, I never would have even joined them if I didn't. But the problem that I see, or the conflict of interest, I should say, between me and Dominic is literally just the fact that I have a sense of urgency that the bull market is going to end and I'm going to be selling all of my crypto soon. And I don't think that he resides in that same paradigm. I think he kind of assumes the market's just going to keep going up. And so, if he launches in the bear market, everybody's going to be pissed off because the market's going to be down. So I told him to release the tokens in the bull market. We'll see if he ever does, but I really can't do a whole lot with that because I'm not the dev, right? So I've reached out, I've done what I can, but if he's not actually going to release the tokens, I can't do anything about it. So you guys just need to reach out to him and say like, yo, release the tokens. What are you waiting for? Because I don't see why you'd continue waiting. Well, guys, we're an hour and 14 minutes into this. I will answer 3 more questions, and then I'm done. You gonna keep making videos? Yeah, I'll make videos. I'm gonna talk about other stuff aside from crypto, though. I'm not gonna just be solely in crypto. The Great Reset. We will own nothing and we will be happy. That's what my thought is. I mean, guys, here's the thing. The Great Reset, it's a real thing. It's going to happen. They're going to use crypto to do it. They're currently working on crashing the dollar so that the Constitution is no longer the governing force. Once they do that, that's when we get the Great Reset where everything new comes in, all of that fun stuff. Crypto will be the forefront of it. Bitcoin will be used inside of that new system as a way where we can no longer hide from anything. In the future, all of our transactions will be able to be seen by the IRS. There will be no paying under the table because everything will be on the blockchain. We will have microchips implanted inside of us that will basically hold all of our data, medical records, financial records, all of that stuff will be implanted inside of us. And so we're at a very important time where whether you believe in that or whether you don't, it's going to happen regardless. And so when it comes to the Great Reset, the thing is, guys, is like we're not going to own anything. It's going to be like communism, but digital communism. It's literally, we will own nothing and we will be happy. But really, we will own nothing and we will be angry because somebody like the government owns everything. So it's the Antichrist system. It sure is. And that's the thing, guys, is, you know, when I first got into crypto, I was so passionate about everything to do with Bitcoin. I was so passionate about crypto as a whole. I knew it was going to be so life-changing, not only for me, but everybody in the world. It was going to unlock so many things, an opportunity for people that didn't have it. So I was really passionate about Bitcoin. And then I started thinking about it logically. I mean, if you just look at things from face value, nobody knows who Bitcoin, or nobody who knows who created Bitcoin. It's an alias. We know that there was somebody that goes by the name of Satoshi Nakamoto that created Bitcoin. Nobody actually knows who the guy is. And so really you think that some freedom fighter that's here for everybody's well-being created Bitcoin. No, he's working with the people, whether it's banks, whether it's, you know, governments, whether it's all of the above. I don't know who Satoshi Nakamoto is, but I don't think that he's somebody that has the well-being of everybody in mind. I think it's somebody that wanted to create a new payment system that we can finally implement on a mass scale to create a one world currency. And so because I don't believe in Bitcoin, I really don't believe in crypto. I'm a Christian. I fully believe all of this stuff is ultimately going to be the downfall of mankind. It's going to make things a lot worse than it already is. I have zero faith in crypto long term, aside from the fact I know that it's going to completely change everything. It's going to be a great opportunity to make a lot of money like we already are right now. But when this stuff is widely adopted and implemented, it's going to suck. Like it's not a good thing for humanity, what we're seeing right now. It'll be labeled off and written off as a good thing for humanity, but it's not. At the end of the day, it gives more power and more control to people in high places, and that's why I have zero faith long-term in crypto. My faith is in Jesus. A lot of people think I'm crazy for that, but I don't care. I've always been crazy. I was crazy when I bought Bitcoin in 2016. I was crazy when I told everybody to buy it at 3,200 after the crash. I was crazy for calling for $20,000 Ethereum and $250,000 Bitcoin. You will always be called crazy. But what I can say is I don't believe in crypto long term. It'll be here long term. It'll be used, make a ton of money in the process, but it's not going to be good. Jesus is sus. You're sus. Well, let's see here. One more question. One more. Actually, you know what? Everybody just drop a praise Jesus in the chat. That's what we should do. Praise Jesus. Jesus was a prophet of God. Jesus was literally the reincarnation of God in flesh. I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, praise Jesus. Lots of believers in the chat. Yeah, that's nice. That's why I actually made another YouTube channel, guys. I did make another YouTube channel. So if you have waited this long to the end of the stream, at least you guys will be able to hear that. But I have actually started a new YouTube channel. I don't remember what it's called. I'll have to go back. I think it's called Experiencing Christ. I had to actually make another new one because I had one I planned on using, but I lost the password to it. So had to make a new one. If you guys are interested in learning about Christ or just personally hearing about my kind of spiritual beliefs on life, I guess you could say, I actually did make another YouTube channel. I'm going to be talking a lot about this type of stuff because here's the thing, guys. It was cryptocurrency that brought me back to Jesus. I was born a Christian, left, didn't believe in the church, thought it was all crazy talk. Did a lot of psychedelics, did a lot of new age spirituality, meditated every day, did yoga, did energy healing. I've seen some crap. Communicated with spirits, all of the crazy stuff. It's weird I'm even saying this on YouTube right now, but I'm just letting you guys know. I had a lot of weird stuff that got me to the point that I'm at in life right now. And it was those experiences and then also coming into crypto that is why I went back to believing in Jesus. So it was all of this stuff that I went back to being, a Christian. And so if you guys do want to actually see some of this, I will have my other YouTube channel. I don't have anything uploaded on it yet. I'm currently in the process of editing my testimonial. My whole reason on why I basically believe in Jesus in the first place. Because I have a lot of crazy experiences. And so if you guys do want to hear about that, I'm going to link that later. I'll probably post it on Twitter, so make sure you guys are following me on Twitter. I'll probably post it in my Discord too whenever I get that video edited. But I tried to record the testimonial, and it kept being way over an hour every single time because there was just so much information I had to try and pack into that one little video. And so it's going to be a long one, but if you guys are followers of Christ and you want to hear about that, I will post that later down the line. So it'll be a cool thing to do that. And so that's actually one of the things I plan on doing in the bear market. I'm going to be investing. I'm going to be making money. I'm going to be doing all that stuff. And so if you guys are already a follower and you guys came here to see this, you'll see more of that. But in the bear market, I do plan on actually focusing a lot more time towards actually uploading on that other channel. That's where I'm going to be doing what I'm going to be doing. Kind of just sick of crypto as a whole. Once you hit your financial goals, once you do all of that stuff, making money is stupid. Like, it's cool like to have money, but once you've already made a lot of money, like, why would you just make more of it? Like, what is the point of that? You got to use something with it. And so with this other YouTube channel, I plan on focusing a lot more attention towards that because in my opinion, spirituality is the only thing that matters in this life. Money's important, having good relationships are important, things like that are great. But at the end of the day, what matters most to me is your spiritual connection with God. You guys can believe in whatever you want, but I believe in Jesus. In my opinion, that's, to me, what matters most in this entire world. So you will see somewhat of a transition towards going through all of that stuff. But honestly, I think I've rambled on enough. We're at an hour and 22 minutes in here. I plan on doing more of these later down the line. If I ever feel like I just don't want to edit, I don't want to, work through a normal video, I'll just live stream. You guys can ask me questions. You guys can learn a little bit more about what I'm working on. Make sure you guys join the Discord server. Get into the Wheelies. Check it out. New NFT project I'm launching with a world famous artist. Really famous artist. So check it out. It's going to be a cool project. Thank you guys so much for watching this. If you found value, leave a like, comment, and subscribe. But chances are you're already here and subscribing. So thank you guys for the support so much on this channel. It means a lot to me to be able to do this every single day. And I just really am thankful that you guys are here to support me through all of this. And so thank you guys for watching. And with that being said, I will catch you in the next one. As always, peace out.